Welcome to my channel. This is Mario Lloyd, also known as Real Estate Guru PK. On this channel, we talk about my real estate endeavors. We also have the top real estate producers and the top entrepreneurs in the country. Be sure to click the link below with Justin P with his Support Black Colleges marketing course. Also with Jason White's Crack the Code affiliate link, click that below as well. Also to support the channel, Webull, N1 Finance, Chase, Discover, Robinhood, and Public, a stock trading app. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Real Estate Guru PK signing up. How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode. We got another special guest. I met you, a couple days ago?
About a week ago.
Yeah, we had your protege on.
Yes, sir.
So, you really connected in the industry. You got a lot of proteges around here doing great things.
Yeah, I've been doing this, man, well, in total since 2012, full-time since 2016. So, enough time, you in enough time, you start to make some connections, which is very valuable in business, for sure.
Do you think coming from Houston, like you think if you moved to another city, you think you could expand more, or you think you cool with just being in the city?
I like living here, but what I do, I can be in multiple places at once. So I just prefer to live in Houston. I could have some other spots, but my primary home, I would want to be here.
Okay.
Maybe I'm biased, but this is the best place to me to live in the United States.
Houston came up the last couple of years.
Yeah. And you can move in Texas. Like, if you don't want to be right in Houston, you can be in Pearland, Pasadena. Like, it's so many different pockets. You can be in the Woodlands if you kind of don't want to be in the mix. So I think Houston is just very unique, and you can live in technically the same city, but a different area. Like, if I move to the Woodlands right now, it's a completely different experience than where I'm at right now. But it's the same city, pretty much.
Like Pearland, Katy.
Exactly. They all, like, if we was up north, those would be different states. Like, from Pearland to probably Katy, that's a whole different, you'd be leaving like Philadelphia or something like that, right? Like, but we so spread out that when we drive 45 minutes in one direction, we like, oh, that's not a big deal.
Kind of like Chicago, Milwaukee. It's like all
exactly.
hour from each other.
Yeah, we got like a good mixture of cities.
What side of town you from?
So I was born and raised in the Northwest Side, so that's kind of like
290?
290, right up, almost till you get to Tomball, but mostly in Cypress. So that's kind of weird. That's where I grew up.
How's it like growing up in Houston?
Man, it depends on who you are. Depends on where you're from. So, I know people that grew up on the Southwest Side. People grew up on the North Side. My parents from the North Side. Then you got what they call like the wards. Like, you got 5th Ward, 4th Ward, 3rd Ward. It all is it's a different experience depending on where you're from. But there's a lot of things that everybody has in common in Houston, right? The heat, how we talk. Like, when I talk to other people I know, they always think I talk slow. And they're like, why you talk like you slow? I'm like, this is how we all talk down. Like, we don't really talk fast. I can talk fast like that, but that's not my default. You know what I'm saying? So we just had a more chill, laid back demeanor, I think. But yeah, growing up, where I grew up it was interesting because you had good schools, good people, good systems. But if you go like 10 minutes over, we weren't far from Acres Home. We was Jersey Village was right there. You go a little bit further, you Carverdale. So it's kind of like, if you wanted to get into that, it wasn't far, but there were some good schools around that you could still get a good education and, stay out of trouble. But if you want to get in trouble, you could get in trouble too. So.
What kept you out of trouble?
Man, probably, outside of my parents, of course, but probably I was an athlete, so I just pretty much hooped all the time. So if I probably didn't do that, I probably would have gotten into more. But that took up so much of my time. And then eventually it got to the point where, this is when AAU was like first starting, where you actually was leaving the city or Dallas or somewhere. So my summers and my free time was filled up with that for the most part. So not to say I didn't get in any trouble, but I think it kept me from having a lot of like free idle time. It's always had to be at practice or get back, all this stuff. So.
Do you let girls distract you?
Back then, it's strange. So like, up until like college, I would say no, because I was like locked in. Like, no, I'm trying to get a scholarship. You know, I had a girlfriend with it, but I wouldn't like. I think when I got to college, it was more like they just dropped me there and I was free. You know, I wasn't at my home. It's like,
so you got a dorm room. You living on campus?
Yeah, I was living on campus. You know, so it's like, oh shit. You know, it was just a whole different experience. But I think that kind of probably distracted me a little bit for probably that first 3 years. Once I started getting to like senior year of college, I was more like, all right, whatever, you know.
It wasn't a big deal no more?
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
What made your wife different from all the other women?
Man, it's a funny story. So I met my wife on my 21st birthday. And I was going out and I was not trying to meet nobody type of women. I was just going out.
Have a good time? I
turned 21. You know, everybody turned 21, you go out, you have a good time. And I remember we went in and, you know, everybody was like in the main part of the club. And the only reason really because I don't even remember if I was 100% sober, that I noticed is I was like, because she was sitting like in the corner, like in a chair in the corner, just like sitting like this. She wasn't looking mad, she was just looking like, when is this gonna be over? Like you could tell like somebody told her to come and she was just trying to like support. But everybody was over here. So I'm like, where did she sit? That's kind of where my mind went. And then I was like, okay, let me go talk to her. You know, so we talked for, I don't even know, it might be 5 minutes. And then, you know, that's back when you actually, I know that these youngsters don't have to do that no more. You actually have to get a phone number and follow up.
Me and Mario were just talking about that, how like...
yeah, man, I don't know what...
Most, like, I'm in a relationship now, but when I was single, like, I would be approached more online than in person.
Oh, yeah.
In this day and age.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy because back then you couldn't do the online.
You couldn't, yeah. You had to
Even if you had Facebook, if you would have messaged a girl and the girl just saw you in person, she would have thought you were weird. Like, well, I just saw you. Why you send me a message? So you had to walk up, you know, and talk to her.
You had to have a pen. She write her phone.
Oh, well, see, that was younger. I ain't that. So, nah, that was probably my junior high years.
Oh, okay.
I had to do that.
Yeah.
So... we had this conversation all the time that some of these guys they can't handle rejection.
No, they can't.
So when you have to have a pen and go up and introduce yourself, get the number, then guess what? Even after you got the number, you still got to go home and make the uncomfortable call, get past the parents. Oh, hey, Mr. Such and Such, I'm trying to talk to this. Like they don't have to do that no more. They bypassing all of that.
You had to come correct on the phone too, or you had to act like you were like somewhat educated, like you didn't want to seem like a thug. Or...
Yeah, you don't want to come across because you're going to be like, who this? Oh, okay. Depending on how you sound, you may not even get through.
Yeah, they'll probably just hang up the phone.
Yeah. Okay, she going to call you back.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, you're like, damn. So that whole process was 100% different. But long story short, like I ended up calling her the next day and I don't know. See, we had this disagreement to this day because I'm like, when I called her, it was like the fourth, you know how we get to the third or fourth ring? Yeah. And I was getting ready to hang up. That's when she answered. Man, she was like, what if I wouldn't answer? I was like, I don't know, to be honest. You didn't answer and I called you like, I probably would. And then she was like, well, I didn't see it. I was like, really? It rang 4 times, you know, but we was young, you know? So that's once I knew that, we had a lot of the same like values. And at first we just kind of casually dated, but then we separated, right? And then for probably like 2 years. And then we end up
back together.
Then after that, we was pretty much
locked in.
Yeah, locked in from that. And then for me, it probably sounds weird, but loyalty is high on my list. Like, I know love, of course, we love each other, but if you're not loyal and respectful, I can't get, because people who love you will F over you too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Not intentionally necessarily, but they'll still do you wrong. Just because they love you don't mean if they don't have a respect for you, meaning I'm just not gonna do this to you just because I got respect for you. You know what I mean? Like, so that's important to me. So that probably that is what separates her from any other girl I really dealt with. But, you know, because if you would have asked me, I tell her this all the time. I'd be like, if it wasn't you, I would just be single. So I was like, hey, if it don't work out, it's over with. This, you know, I'm not going 3 and 4 or 5 different men. I was just like, but yeah, so.
So for a man to like want to settle down, like marry a woman, would you say it's the woman that makes him feel that way, or is it something within himself? Like I'm ready for this, or is it a combination of both?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I would probably say a little bit of both, but I will say it is gonna have to be the woman.
Okay.
Because think about it. Okay, let's just assume the guy is a decent guy, right? And he has some level of options. What this woman gonna do to take him off the market? What's gonna make him say, this ain't even worth it talking to nobody else? That's where really, from our perspective, we thinking of like, man, you know what? It's not worth it to lose her and go back into uncertainty. You know what I mean? And then men really do want structure. Like, we can do everything ourselves, but men do really want like, okay, I got you can, even when you have kids, I got my kids and my wife, I got that taken. Now I can start focusing on my business, other stuff. Men really don't want to have to play the game of, let me talk to you, you tripping. Like, it's a lot of work. You know, even thinking back to it's a lot of work. Like, if I would say driven men don't. Like, some guys, they ain't got nothing going on, they got time to do that. But like you know, somebody that's got an ambition, if they find a good one, they're like, man, let me just lock this one down. Let's get on the same page. So now I'm back to let's work together. We going this way. So that's my opinion on that.
Oh, and you have no like this. You're happy with one woman at this point.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really like. How do you say this? I don't really just like
playing the field. Not
that I'm saying like I'm trying to word this the right way. Okay, this is my theory.
Okay.
Most guys really just don't like women. What I mean, like, they don't just want to hang around women, you know, just to hang around women. That's why when a guy gets a relationship, he's like, man, my girl getting on my nerves. Because you spend a certain amount of time and it's just like, you want to do men stuff, you know, and then you go back. There's a balance, right? But that's why when all these guys got 150 homegirls, it's like, bro, you don't really want to hang out with you. You don't. What are y'all doing in common? Unless like the girl is not like maybe she's into girls or something, like she's a athlete or something that, you know, homegirl like that. But you want to go to the mall with 4 different women?
Right.
You want to walk around and, you know, you don't really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it would be, I'm assuming in that scenario, it'd be like you're mainly impressing other men because it's really no point.
Yeah, in terms of like I see what you're saying. Like, men don't really want to have to entertain 4 different women. Like, if they want 4 different women, they entertaining them to keep them. Not just because they want to go to the movies 4 times with 4 different women. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if they would say, hey, if a man would have 4 women that he dealing with, and 3 of them say, man, you ain't got to do nothing with me. Just hit me up when you're free. And only 1 woman actually makes him move around and spend time, they wouldn't even worry about doing the rest of it. Because it's just a means to an end.
Right.
Maybe that's too real, but just telling y'all the truth.
Do a pie chart for me, like love, loyalty, like money, like what's important to you in a pie chart, like far as
far as me, or like what I see in like a woman. Is that what you mean?
It could be both. It could be like what you were looking for before you met your wife, or what your wife brings you that makes you complete. Okay,
so like a percentage wise?
Yeah, like 30% love, 30% loyalty, 30%.
I mean, I'm trying to think of it from both. I'm gonna think of it from my perspective. So I would say for me, I kind of don't want to put love in there because
you don't?
can't give
so you don't care about love?
No, that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying if I give anything less than 100% answer for love, it's like you only love the wife 90%. Like, so I don't want to frame it like that. Okay. I'll use all of the other attributes because I obviously love my wife.
Okay.
You know, so trust me, I would not do any of the stuff I did with my wife if I didn't love her. So other than that, I would say, like you said, respect is probably 50% of it.
Okay.
Loyalty, probably 25%. So you got 75%. The other 25% is probably just, I don't want to say, I'm going to say transparency. I don't want to say honesty because transparency means just tell me like
what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Communication.
You know, communication, I guess, is a better word to say. But the reason respect is so high is because if you think about who you know, some people you will not do certain things to because you respect them. So we'll just use your mama, you know, or I'll use my mom. My mama could cuss me out. I mean, she would never do that, but I'm saying she could do that. She could hit me, you know, she don't do that either, but I'm saying she could do crazy stuff to me. Nothing she's gonna do is gonna make me cuss her out or hit her because I have too much respect for her. So if that person has respect for you, even if they get on your nerves, which they will, and you go, and vice versa, if you have a certain level of respect for you, say, I'm not gonna say this to her. I'm thinking this, I'm not gonna say it. I wanna do this, I'm not gonna do this. Cause I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna go, you know, let me just go to the gym. Whatever you need to do, cause you're gonna have a respect level, or your lady gonna have a respect level for you and be, it's better for her to be like, you know what, I can't talk to you right now and leave. That's men, you can deal with that, like, all right, whatever, you know. But when they get into the, now she crossed that boundary into now I wanna disrespect you and blow up your spot and do all this other, that mean they don't have respect for you.
Embarrass you.
Try to embarrass you. You didn't have respect for that person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think.
I agree.
So let's get into your business. So how can, if somebody want to start doing what you're doing, how would they need to start off with?
Okay, so, well, let me take a couple steps back. So what I do is I run a marketing agency. We specialize in e-commerce. So there's 3 different models that applies to. So we have Facebook Marketplace automation. We have Amazon FBA automation. Then we have Shopify stores, which are stores owned by small business owners, where they have different models like drop shipping, private label, wholesaling models. So if you want to get into e-commerce, that's one conversation. If you want to become a marketer, that's a different conversation. So I guess I'll start with the marketing perspective. So if you want to be a marketer, to me, I look at it, my job is to make other people's business create a larger impact. So when I see people that have a good product or a good service, I'm trying to expose that to as many people as possible. That's my job to them. Take what you have that's good and expose it to as many people as I can. So when we scale a brand, it's not us creating your brand. It's us saying, hey, your brand meets the qualifications of a store we can work with, and we know if you follow these parameters, we're gonna help you get from this level to this level.
What are some of those qualifications? So
when we scale a store, which is a store that exists already, that has current sales, let's say maybe at least $5,000 to $10,000 in sales a month, that means we have proof of concept. So you might hear that like on Shark Tank, like it means we know what you sell works. We know that you have customers, you probably have reviews, but you're capped out in the audience that you serve. Maybe you just doing everything on social media in terms of content. Maybe you don't know how to run ads, or maybe you're running ads and can't get past a certain level. So we know you have something that works. We know you're a serious business owner. So it's not somebody that's just dipping their toe in, right? Because when you hire a real business owner, when they hire any type of agency, there's an expectation. So they don't hire you today and go, Friday call you and go, did I 2X? What? No. Like, there's a time frame in the way these things work. There's 30 days, here's what should happen in 30 days, and 60 days, and then 90 days, here's where you should start seeing a certain amount of results. But only a business owner that's been in business is patient enough and disciplined enough to go through the process. So something as simple as, hey, when you pay your invoice, we need you to fill out this form and send us this. You would think that's a one-day process. But for a new owner, that's gonna take them a week. Guaranteed. Because they're not in that mindset, I need to get this done. You know what I mean? So that's the qualifications for us to take a client. They need to be an existing client. They don't have to be making millions. Like I said, they could be making $5,000 to $10,000 a month in revenue or more, and we can take that and double or triple it. You know, so there's clients I've worked with that they started with $6,000 a month. They've gone all the way up to $80,000 a month with the same product. Wow. It's just different systems and different levels of exposure. So how you run an ad, not even just how you know, the technical part, but what are you saying? Who is your audience? What type of video are you putting in front of it? You know, that type of thing. So I don't want to get too technical, but that's what we look for.
Got it.
How much does it cost to hire you as someone need to pay you to be their mentee?
Oh, so from a consulting standpoint, if you hire, it depends. So if you do a package, which is, you say, I'm gonna do a minimum 3 months. You do a minimum 3 months, it's $3,000 a month. But normally these are people who are, I would say, at least at $20,000 or $30,000 a month already, and looking to get to probably six figures a month, at least in their business. So that's what that price is. Now, if you want to do a month to month, it's $3,500 a month, and that just means some people just need 1 month. They just want refinement. Like, hey, I want you to can you look at this with me? And you get in my package, you get bi-weekly. So we meet on a Zoom for an hour and a half every 2 weeks. And I record it and I send you the documents of everything we went through. Okay. So it's a strategy. So when the first call is always assessment. Let's see what's going on, everything that's going on in the business. Okay, what's not working? Writing that down, right? And then we're basically moving the pieces around in a way that it works. And it's repeatable. Like, so when you're done with this, not only do you have the recordings, you can go back. What I mean by repeatable, let's say you say, you know what, I want to start another company next year. You can go look at that process and go, okay, the same thing I did with company A, I can do with company B. Okay. You just change the verbiage, change the audience. That's all you do. So that's from the consultant side, how I do that. I normally don't take more than 5 of those a year because it takes a lot of my time in terms of, consulting is not a cash grab for me because I don't want people to be a mentee and be like, oh, he's all right. I don't like that. You know, so if they work with me, I want them to be able to say, man, like, what he gave me was valuable, you know, versus me having 100 mentees. You know, that's why I only do 5 when it comes to one-on-one. I'm thinking about doing a group coaching, but we'll see.
You ever thought about doing a 5-day challenge?
Yeah, but see, the challenge is that tends to attract more of the startup. And that's nothing against startups because I worked with startups probably the first 3 years of my business, but it's a completely different game because now you got to teach mindset and discipline. And so that's like you almost getting into the motivational realm. But that's where they are. I mean, everybody's there at some point, but for me right now, I'm not really looking to spend too much time on persuading people or showing people how to have the mindset of a business owner. I'm more into the people who have that but just don't have the know-how. Like, yo, I can work 10 hours a day. Just tell me what I need to do. Those are the people I like to help. Because then I can guarantee, like, if you do this, this, and this, I can almost guarantee you're going to get results. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
What's the most one of your clients made?
At what time period?
Like by the end of the year, like after a year, dealing with you.
I think probably 1.5.
1.5?
That's on the Shopify side.
And where was they at before the 1.5? How much was they making?
Well, at the point, I think they were making like 70. They were making 60 to 70,000 a month, which they would have ended the year probably 600 or 700.
So you don't.
But the systems we put in, not only did it double the revenue, the other part, I'm gonna get to this, but the other part of it is it decreased the time they spent in their business. So the revenue is one part, but when you start making a certain amount of money, time becomes more important to you. Mm-hmm. So, for her, she went from answering 85 DMs, 90 DMs a day to answering 2. So that takes away hour to 2 hours a day. How many hours is that a week? 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month saved of time, plus doubling the revenue. So if you were to measure how much she feels her time is worth, you got to factor that in as well.
Right.
So that would probably be, off the top of my head, the biggest one I could think of. Yeah.
And these stores, they can have physical products, ebooks, digital, anything?
Yeah. Good question. So they can have, I have people who sell physical products. I have people who sell digital products like ebooks, that sell digital services like consulting. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the hybrid model where they have a physical location and online. So I think 2 of my clients have that. So where they have like an actual location in the mall, like an actual store, but they also have a full scale store online as well. So they actually feed each other. So when people come in the store, we set up a system to where they can scan a QR code, get put into the database, and now they get retargeted online. So, but yeah, that's the model that we work with the most.
Okay, so systems is where it's at. Systems,
absolutely,
automations. That's the key to scaling and growing any business.
Yes, and like we in 2023, these systems are crazy right now.
AI. Do you implement AI in your service?
Yeah, so we're starting to implement more and more AI. The only thing is having to make sure that the business owners understand what's being implemented. Mm-hmm. Because the only thing about systems is when people get used to them, they hold on to them. Like, I know how this works. This is working. So even if you show them a new one that might be a little bit better, you kind of have to ease them into it. Because it's just like if you think of your parents, like they be scared to take I don't want to send a Zelle or whatever it is. They don't know what it is. It's kind of like they want to hold on to that system.
Always.
Exactly.
Yeah. Writing checks.
Yeah, and my mindset is probably a little bit different because a lot of people go, this isn't working, so I just need to work harder. And it's like, that's not always the case. You probably need to work smarter. That's probably what's going on. The problem with if you say I'm working 5 hours in my business, it's not working, or I'm gonna keep working, I'm gonna do 9 hours, and it still doesn't work, you're gonna burn yourself out. Because now you stop believing in your product, you start thinking it's not gonna sell, or you abandon it and try to start a whole new business. But the whole time it was just how you were doing what you were doing, right? So if I give you an example, let's say you're selling, give me a product.
Digital, ebook.
Okay. That's a good one. So let's say you're selling an ebook. The whole time you pushing this ebook. One of the problems with selling the ebook is calling it an ebook. Does that sound like something you want to read?
No.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So let's use yours. You're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you wanted to do, we're going to call an ebook, but what would you want to teach? Something simple. What would you want to teach?
How to wholesale.
How to wholesale. Okay. So would you rather buy wholesaling ebook, or would you rather buy platinum wholesaling blueprint?
The blueprint.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Sound different.
Yeah.
But it's an ebook.
Yeah.
That's such a tiny gem, but a big
tweak.
one at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing. When you see an email, it says, XYZ Company July newsletter. Do you want to read that?
No. That's boring.
Right? So, as opposed to the gym going, Larry's 30-day ab shred results are in. You may not, that might be Larry, maybe somebody that's at the gym like, damn, what Larry got? Click. So when we think in email marketing, it's in steps. The first thing we gotta do is get you to open the email, right? So the biggest thing is the subject line of your email. Once we get you to open the email, now we can start talking about what we wanna say in it, and then what we want them to click, what action we want them to take. But yeah. Yes, y'all get me. I'm passionate about this stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So that's my take on that.
Can you name all your mentees you had, like all the popular ones?
So in terms of just one-on-one mentoring?
Yes.
So you guys had Losha Brooks on today. One of my other mentees, CEO, First Lady, you might know her, Stephanie Hoyt. I've had the V Doctor's been one of my mastermind mentees, LaTanya. There's been some other, man. I'm trying to think. They started to run together, but there's been some others over the last couple years.
So, oh yeah, you not Miss Skittles?
No.
Okay.
No, but my Miss Skittles has a great community, but she hasn't been a mentee of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Man, honestly, doing what I'm doing now, just on a bigger scale.
You
I've been
gonna stay in Houston, or you gonna go somewhere else?
Well, I'll always be in Houston. Even if I get another spot, I'll always have somewhere here.
Okay.
This always feels like home, and I've been all over the world. But when I come back here, I just feel like, as soon as I land here, I feel like, I'm home. You know what I'm saying? So I will always have somewhere here. But I think I possibly would, maybe Florida, somewhere like that, Fort Lauderdale, something like that. That's a nice spot. Or we were thinking about like a little spot in the islands too, to go to, like around this time and when it's 105. Yeah, that's the spot. And then you can always rent those out when you're not there too. So that's something I was thinking about. But as far as what I want to do, like, yeah, just what I'm doing on a higher level, like, it took a while to figure, you move like within your niche to see what you're good at, but then what comes natural to you. So for me, not to get like deep, but like, people always want to talk about what you doing for your community and who you donating to, and and I've done that. When I started my business, I would go to McDonald's, I buy 39-cent cheeseburgers and hand them out to the homeless. This is before I was making any real money, so I always wanted to give back. But then once I started carving out like, this is kind of the niche of people that I can help, then I figured out, okay, even when I'm helping my clients, I'm helping my community. Because majority of my clients look like me. I only have 2 that don't. So now it's like, how can I, and they have kids and they have spouses, you know what I mean? So we look at it as numbers like, we did this, 10,000 to 60,000 or whatever, right? But what that really is a result, because now they could take a vacation with their family. Some of my clients have kids. Some of my clients have kids with disabilities. Now, you see that store doing better impacts their whole household. So to me, that's how I give back to my community and what I do. That's why I say I like what I'm doing. I just want to continue doing it on a bigger level. And eventually I'll grow like the team a little bit to where I can help more people. That's it.
Would you be mad if your kids didn't want to be an entrepreneur?
I wouldn't be mad. See, my thing is, with my kids, I would want them to understand ownership. So even if you want to have a job, you might want to be a doctor. I don't know what they're going to want to do, but And I don't have any yet, but we will have some. But my thing is, you need to own something.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you go into your job and they say, we need you to work 75 hours a week. And you say, well, you paying me for 50, 75. And you can walk out the door.
No vacation.
Yeah, but you have leverage now. I'm not, you saying I'm not working that. See, most people can't do that because they have no leverage. See, if you have no money saved, you have no other source of income, now they're going to make you do it. They know that. They know this is your only paycheck. But if they know, like I've seen this happen because I started in corporate, where they know Johnny has Airbnb and dad has money and all this, they will only ask him to do so much. Because Johnny be like, I'm not doing that. He'll say like, no, y'all paying me for Friday at 7. I'm supposed to get off at 7. Well, we need you tonight. I can't do it. And they can't say anything because if they fire him, they got to give him severance. And he already has money coming in. So to me, that's why I'm saying when you work a job, it's nothing wrong with working a job. Because I worked tons of jobs until I got to the point where I had a business. But when you have leverage on a job, it's a whole different thing. Not to say it's no stress. It's just at the back, you have a boundary and you're not gonna let that company cross your boundary.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be mad if they wanted to have a job. I think there's a lot of noble jobs out there.
I feel that.
I come from a family of teachers, so that's a good job too.
You got any more questions? Okay. I'm going to ask you either or question.
Okay.
All right. Wholesaling or real estate?
Real estate.
Real estate. Stocks and NFTs?
Crypto.
Crypto? Stocks or crypto?
Crypto.
What crypto you got?
Ethereum. It depends. We do a lot of day trading.
Oh, y'all do day trading? Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I do right now.
Okay. 2 million followers or rental property?
Rental property.
Rental property? Okay.
Well, hold on. What type of followers? See,
it could be.
When you ask me 2 million followers, are they targeted followers?
Anything you want it to be. It could
2
be.
million followers. If they targeted, give me the followers.
You the followers?
Absolutely.
You gonna run it up?
For sure.
Okay. 850 credit score or $1 million?
850.
850?
That is $1 million.
It can be.
You know anybody who got an 850 credit score that don't have access to $1 million?
Do I know anybody? I think I do.
Tell them to call me. I'll get them $1 million.
Okay. Tour or Airbnb?
Airbnb.
Airbnb. LLC or S Corp?
Ooh, it depends. I'm gonna say LLC.
LLC. Business credit card or regular credit card?
Business.
Business. Okay. Money or equity?
Equity.
Equity. What if it was $1 million? Would you still take the equity?
Depends on what the equity is in.
What if it was just in a house?
What type of house?
A commercial building.
Where is it at?
Third ward.
Ooh, I'd probably take the equity.
Equity? All right, man.
If I can pass it down.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming out.
Appreciate y'all. That was good.
Thank you.